This episode of NOLA Film Scene is brought to you by the Law Office of Jana McCaffery. Welcome to NOLA Film Scene with TJ Plaideau.
I'm TJ.
And as always, I'm Plaideau.
Welcome back to NOLA Film Scene. We're back with part 2 with Artemis the Impala and her crew.
We can't get rid of these people.
Sorry. Thank you.
Emily and Chris, welcome back. Great to see you again.
Absolutely. It's great to be back.
As always.
I like how you put the boss first, TJ. Emily, Chris.
Look, I'm just happy to be here, okay?
Good man.
I'm lucky to have him.
Oh.
Yeah. Matter of fact, our first convention, I think we made a grand total of negative $80. I mean, we ended up losing money on the whole thing. After you take into account the amount of preparation we put in the car, the fact that, we had to pay to go to that first convention, but then it was almost like a little investment because that little seed all of a sudden became a much bigger tree than I thought it was going to be, to use a really bad analogy there. But I didn't expect, like I said, it just kind of snowballed from there. And it's been fun, interacting with people. I mean, it's almost like, because in my day-to-day life, I'm a dentist, I already have to talk to people all the time. And it's usually not a very, exactly. It's not a very fun thing to tell, to talk to people about their mouth. This is something that people actually like, they love Supernatural. It's way more fun to talk about that than be like, hey, you need a root canal, or hey, some fillings, whatever, it's a lot more fun to go out and interact with people with stuff that they do like.
Yeah, and I think that was probably my favorite thing that he learned very quickly in the process was that people really, really did like that show. I think he thought it was a lot more niche, and in a lot of ways it is. But like I said earlier, it's so hard to explain that, while it is a sort of specific group, it's actually a fairly big amount of people. And I think he figured that out at the second convention when we were at Mississippi, because we had a line the entire time.
People to take pictures with the car.
Yeah, blew his mind. He was like,
yeah.
Okay, I get it now, I think. I think I understand what you meant by we could just go do this. It's like, yeah, you don't need much.
Until you experience con life and your fandom and you find what you like, people, they just don't understand this.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? I had to kind of drag TJ a little bit into this life, and then, okay, this is cool. He's not going to be as, me, I'm photo ops. Oh, what can I do? And he has his fun with it. But
I enjoy stuff. I enjoy movies and comics, and I enjoy all the attractions and things.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I've got a bad hip, and it's just not pleasant for me to be on my feet for a long time, walking around a lot. I honestly do have a good time when I go. And part of that is meeting people like y'all and talking about your booth. There's some other cool ones that we see at a lot of them as well. Emily, we talked about the car. I've seen the show. I don't count myself as a diehard fan of the show. I watched it one time through, but the car,
that's honestly a big accomplishment. So.
Yeah, it is.
The car was a really cool thing for me to see because I'm a car guy, and you were able to rattle off all the stuff that y'all have done to the car to get it ready for the convention, and I really enjoyed talking to all of y'all about it. It's a really neat attraction.
Well, thank you for that. That's the way that we tend to see it is, at least half of the people that we get at every convention are there just to look at the car itself, whether or not they know what it is related to and why it's there. So I usually throw those guys at him because they'll want to look at the engine and talk about that part of it as well. So I can run off all those stats and the work that we've done, and they're happy to hear all of that too. And then I go, okay, for the technical side of it, here's Chris.
I guess I didn't realize. I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead, Chris. No.
I was going to say, I guess I was surprised that it wasn't just the Supernatural people that would come over and see the car. It was a lot of people that just like the classic car there because, it is a pretty striking feature in any of these places. You walk in and it's, oh my God, it's an 18-foot long car.
What's that doing there?
Yeah. But it is really cool to see, talk to people that are like, oh man, I used to have a classic car. I got rid of it and regretted it ever since. Or they tell me their stories with, their own experience with trying to get a carburetor tuned and, all these little things that, I'll be 34 in about a week. And, I've never had to experience, really working on a carburetor or anything like that until this car. And so all those little bitty things that you just don't really have that experience with for a lot of people, I guess, that are, you know, that just don't really deal with cars all that much. It was fun to kind of connect with them in that way. And it means that there's a little bit of something for everybody with this thing. I mean, it's, you know, like she'll talk, you know, anybody's ear off about Supernatural. And then, you know, somebody will come up to me and be like, hey, you know, what kind of engine do you have in it? Oh, I have a 350 small block, you know, Chevy, you know, engine in there. You know, what do you want to know about it? And, you know, we can, you know, kind of prattle on and on and on about this for, you know, a good bit of the convention. And that's the kind of stuff I like with it too. I mean, it's just, you know.
Yeah, he'll have people stand around for 30 minutes to an hour talking to him about just the engine.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now here's the real question. Is it a crate motor or is it the numbers matching original?
So it is not a
What you
numbers
got
matching
going on there?
original. Whenever we got the car, the engine originally was a 327 small block. This one has a 350 from a 1974 Police Caprice. And
Okay.
whoever had the car, because everything else on it matches except for that. And I guess the thing that I'm glad that they kept it with the kind of that same, you know, era, I guess, because it is still from a 1974. It's not just a, you know, a crate motor they ordered from GM. And they did do a lot of work on it, whoever took on that part of the car, which, like I said, I'm kind of grateful for, just because it's, you know, there's a little bit less stress whenever you do bring it to places and it's not a completely numbers matching car. Those numbers matching car, I mean, a lot of those guys, you know, you'll see them in their garage and that's where they stay. They don't move them anywhere because, I mean, you want to keep these things as pristine as possible.
Which
That's right.
I want to keep mine as pristine as possible too.
Sure, and that we're going to go to a demolition derby.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Sure.
We'd probably
of course.
win, honestly, with how heavy that thing is. You know?
But it is the only thing
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not
thank-
numbers matching on the car, as far as we're aware. So, yeah.
I mentioned it to Emily briefly when we were talking. I had a 1980 Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
When I got it, it came with a 383 stroker in it, but the guy gave me the original numbers matching block and some of the parts, but it was shot. It was, the cast iron was cracked. There was no way that block would come back, but I had it. I had the numbers matching block. The transmission matched and everything else was original in the car. But I get what you're saying about the stress of it. I didn't mind driving it. I didn't mind pushing the car, and it looked good from a distance, but the paint, it wasn't even the original paint. It had been repainted and it had some scratches in it. So I wasn't worried. I didn't care driving it to the grocery store if somebody scuffed it. I mean, I completely restored the interior of the car down to the bare metal and started over from scratch. Everything had been gone through and it looked great, but I wasn't scared to drive it. You know, I enjoyed it. You gotta enjoy a car like that. You can't let something like that sit.
That's exactly how we feel about it, or at least how I feel about
Oh,
it.
no, for sure. I mean,
I'm like, I got it, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want to use it? I got it for me to enjoy mostly, and then to be able to share it is part of my enjoyment. But I got it just as much for me to be able to drive around and be like, haha, look at me in my cool car. You know.
Now, I will say this: I couldn't daily drive it because I had the classic car insurance on it.
Yeah.
Because if I would have just insured it to where I could daily driver it, if it was stolen or totaled, it wouldn't have replaced the value of the car. But with the classic car insurance, I was able to tell them, okay, it's worth this much. That way, if it was stolen, but with that comes you can only drive it so much in a month, and you're not supposed to drive it to go to the grocery store and go do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I
think the limit on our
take it to martial
insurance is
arts or
like,
whatever.
yeah, I think the limit on our insurance is like 2,000 or 3,000 miles for the year. So it's super.
Y'all have Haggerty or one similar?
It's Haggerty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Nice.
yeah. No, I mean, it definitely, whenever there isn't, you know, that. So our car has been repainted. Matter of fact, it was kind of like the one used in the show, the main hero car. Ours was originally a blue on blue car, and that's just a random little supernatural tidbit. Is that the 67, the 67 Impala that they first used was originally a blue on blue car that they fixed up to be a black exterior, tan interior car, and so ours just happens to be, you know, like I said, it was originally a blue on blue car. And whoever, like I said, I say whoever had it before us, we've owned it for a couple of years. We bought it in Georgia. The people that had owned it in Georgia had it for about 4 years, and they didn't really do much with it. They kind of wanted to do what we're doing with it now. But they ended up having a child, and it gets a little bit more. Your life priority changes whenever that does happen. It's a big thing in somebody's life. And whoever he had bought it, and it was in Michigan for about a year, and before that, it was a West Coast car. It was actually made in Los Angeles and all that other fun stuff. We've gotten a pretty detailed history on like where it stayed most of its life, and probably the best part about it is that somebody actually took it upon themselves to completely restore it before we got to it. Now, it fell in disrepair before we actually bought it, but somebody took it off of the frame. They've had the frame, powder coated and whatnot. Thankfully, the paint job was really good. The interior was kind of a complete wreck, but that's why we also
way better than some people, because like they'll have like the old headliner will be hanging off. And
we got lucky with that, but we also took ours down to bare metal.
We had to replace it anyway. So.
Yeah, in order to reupholster the seats, and I mean, we had to re-weld a couple of things, and stuff like that.
Some rust spots, nothing crazy compared to most project cars. So but yeah, the paint job. I mean, anytime we have taken it to somebody just to get an opinion, we've got at least 4 professionals at this point who have been like, if you don't need to. Don't touch it.
Right.
I don't want to touch it. They don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess, because the big thing for me, like that's a screen accurate thing is the car's not supposed to have any of the badges on it. And the badges that we do have, at least on the front fenders, are really, they're a remake quality, which, you can buy them. They're the reproduction ones. And if I wanted to get ones that look nice, I could. But they're definitely not the original badges, and the paint's off of it. And I would just like to take them off and fill it and paint it black. But nobody wants to put their hands on it. So,
well, also not to mention, she's not mentioning the fact too that we don't want to necessarily pay that much too. I mean, because it's not cheap to repaint a classic car.
No,
it's not. Not to do it right.
That's exactly it.
My neighbor across the street, when I had that car, just so happened that his occupation was he was a paint and body guy at kind of a high-end German dealership. So, and he had all the stuff he needed at home. So if I ever needed anything when we painted the inside and inside the trunk, he was able to do it professional grade, And he said the same thing. You don't have any rust. I wouldn't paint the outside of that car, because even him giving me a deal, it was still going to be $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah.
That's
a
expensive.
great price.
Yeah. But that was, we're talking 15 years ago, and talking the buddy deal with him getting paint, at cost.
Oh yeah. The best prices we got when we were shopping around when we almost bought a white one was between 10 and 15. We had at least a couple of bigger shops try to tell us, oh, it might be over $30,000. And I was like,
I have a feeling.
For what?
And that's if you don't have to fix any metal underneath.
Right.
Yes. Which, I mean, it doesn't seem like, obviously, for our car, we would need to do that, but you never know. So, yeah.
Some people could find something you need to fix. What I mean?
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, sometimes too, I think they give you those insane prices too, as what we like to call the FU price. Like
they don't want to do it.
Yeah, they don't want to touch it. So we'll give you a price, but you're not going to say yes to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to there's a plane passing over. I think we've got enough almost for 2 episodes. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to go into the Twitch at this point. But I was thinking of a last question, but I'm asking it this way before I ask it officially, because we've had the celebrity interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all think of outstanding fan interaction, like something that's a good story? And if you don't, we don't have to do it.
No.
And you don't have to tell me. Just say yes, and I'll ask the question, and we can go into that. But
I've just had so many, so it's harder for
No, I mean, well, think about all of our fan favorite pictures.
Oh yeah, I mean,
we had Aaron, the Louisiana Ghostbusters.
Well, let's stop there. We can record, and if we don't use it, we don't use it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So I haven't asked you that.
I know which one. Can I think of my tiny fans first? Can I say that one first?
Also, we should cut this out as an advertisement. Watch our show. So
before you ask the question, Brian, I just want to say, see, I can nerd out too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We just have to find.
You just have
your
to find
sloths.
my thing.
We have to find your nerddom, your fandom.
That's right.
It's just me with photos and plussing it and doing crazy stuff and I get my reaction. That's what I meant. That you're not going to follow me around. Let me try that again. You're not going to follow me down the road to pay for photo ops.
That's right.
Until we hit big money.
Boo. Yeah.
He got a family.
Well, for a car, maybe.
Yeah,
Hey.
exactly.
We'll be right back.
Have you been injured? New Orleans-based actor Jana McCaffery has been practicing law in Louisiana since 1999, specializing in personal injury since 2008. She takes helping others very seriously, so if you've been injured, Jana's offering a free consultation and a reduced fee to fellow members of the Louisiana film industry. She will handle your case from start to finish. She can be reached at janamccaffery@gmail.com or 504-837-1234. Make sure you tell her NOLA Film Scene sent you.
My thing is, I don't want to pay a celebrity for an autograph or a picture, you know.
That's fair. That's
trying to
totally
get into
fair.
that peer group, not,
Right.
you know.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
I'm
I
like,
get it.
Ooh, if I bring this prop, I can make them laugh. You know?
Yeah.
And they will
There's
love
two
me.
kinds of people.
Wait, no.
you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to get a whole interaction out of it myself, clearly. So
Yeah.
I get
And
it.
We may drop this back to where we were talking about, but it's also, I've learned how to, almost like a surgeon, how to talk with celebrities. I was at one with Kevin Smith at GeekCon, and the people with the pictures were like, come on, Brian, keep it moving. But at the other time, you get in, like, they're like, no props. And this is my prop. What do you think? Let's play. Boom. Picture. You know, with Linda Hamilton and the cast of T2. We got in there,
that's awesome.
and I had printed out pictures, and it was right after AI started. It's like, hasta la vista AI. The only AI we like, and it's a picture of Arnold, is the Terminator, you know. And it's
Nice.
5 of them. It's me and Jim. So I handed out, boom, we do this. And as we walk past Linda, I was like, oh, it's nice meeting you. We know this director. I know somebody who filmed something for. Oh, yeah, okay. And we're out. You got to say your piece and move.
Yeah.
But I tell them my idea. So that's what I love, plussing the pictures. And even with y'all, I take pictures with y'all. I haven't taken them with the car. So maybe we'll correct that
No,
at the
you
next
haven't.
con.
I was about to say, yeah, come on by. We got you.
Oh, I'll be there. And we announced it before. I'm doing my first con by myself. We were at Cajun Con as NOLA Film Scene.
Yeah.
We're going to Louisiana RetroCon, which TJ can't make. So this will be my first time at a booth. So
Should be
it's
fun.
it's Morgan City. So if I know you're not
Yeah,
going to the con, but maybe y'all can
No,
come visit.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to rock the swag today, you know, so.
Nice. I got mine. When TJ
There
comes
you go.
back, I know y'all asked me if you should wear the shirt. And I was like, well, that'd be nice. And, you know, oh, wear your stuff. And I saw you with that flannel. I was like, oh, if only he was wearing it, he could rip it open. Da-da-da. Bam.
Now you got it.
TJ, you see what he's got? NOLAFilmScene.shop.
Nice.
Merch.shop. What's the website?
It's the merch is NOLAFilmScene.shop.
Gotcha. Buy our merch.
Perfect.
Buy our merch. So
I think I have a picture of like, you know, the sticker of y'all too somewhere else. So, you know, it's probably on my computer or something like that, you know.
you've got pictures of me?
Oh.
We'll talk blackmail and I'll pay the ransom soon. So
I'll pay the reverse ransom for you to.
Release it. All right.
post it
All
for
right,
Brian.
we're starting a
embarrass
bidding
him.
war here, folks.
Oh, TJ, I got to tell you how these things work. Anyway, so we're coming to an end, and it's been a great pleasure talking to you. But I was
Yeah,
thinking,
y'all too.
thank you. And that I let you get a word in edgewise. That must be a miracle. So we've talked about a great celebrity interaction. Can you think of 1, 2, 3, 5 your favorite fan interactions with you in the car?
There are definitely a few, but I think most of our favorite fan interactions all came from our very first convention. So for me, it was so exciting and also like, oh my God, no way, really, was we were at, I think it was on Sunday, these two girls came up to the car and she just comes right up to me and she's like, got her hands over her mouth and she's looking at me and she's like, I follow you on Twitter. And I was like, oh no. So that was so great. And they're young girls, they're in like their last year of high school, super sweet fans that had dressed up a little bit just to come see us. There was another group of girls that also dressed up entirely just to come see us because they happened to hear that the car was going to be there. But it's really great because they live locally. And they were so sweet. I ended up giving them a fan ride, a couple months later, just so that we could work that out. Because it was very important to me. These are my first little fans from social media, realizing that we live in the same, 10 square miles and going, oh my God, let me go to the convention. So that was really, really awesome. And at this point, they have stopped by most of the major local conventions just to come say hi and have a chat and drop off a gift with me. It's really sweet.
Yeah, I have to say that we had a few. Usually the best interactions we have are the ones that are a lot of times the people are dressed up, they're, and they interact in a way that you probably wouldn't normally get with the car itself. So we have a friend of ours named Aaron who always dresses as the Mandalorian, and he has a little remote control Grogu. So we had a whole photo shoot with him in the car.
I loved that.
Yeah, it was great. And at Mississippi, we actually ran into a couple of Jawas that we got to do a lot of fun with that. We took off the little air box on our car and handed it to them like they were raiding our car for parts. And
That's funny. That's nice.
And I mean,
great.
that was the kind of stuff that I love because, it's not, I mean, I guess there would have
specifically supernatural. It's fun crossover.
Jawa sees car or like machine. Let's take it apart. Let's sell it for scrap, whatever.
Yeah.
And those have been the ones that have been the most fun. We've had Batman. We've had
the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the Louisiana Ghostbusters had a really awesome little photo shoot with us.
They take their little ghost sensing thing and search the car.
Anybody that has a prop, we try and incorporate it in whenever they do interact with us. But those are the ones that like really just stick out just because they were, they took it like to that extra level. And it just was, I don't know, it's almost funny to see that joining of universes right there, supernatural. And I guess in this case, mostly Star Wars and Ghostbusters. But I mean, even Scott came up to us during our first convention. And he had a magnet that was from Scooby Natural. And he said, you want this? And we were like, yeah. So he signed it and he stuck it to the trunk of our car. And it's been there ever since.
He didn't even ask, I don't think, actually, because I was at the front of the car and there were a couple of folks looking at the back of the trunk at the time because we could open the trunk, but we couldn't open the box. We had only just made the box and we didn't have enough to fill it. I just had stuff to put on top, which I was like, whatever, as long as it's open, great. People just want to be able to look at the trunk and see a few props. So it was open and he was on the other side of it. And I just happened to look over as he like walked over and like smacked the underside of the trunk. And I go walk over to him. I was like, what are you doing? And he just points and I was like, oh, thanks. And now I'm pretty sure it's melted there in the heat. So it's just going to stay there.
It's fused to the car at this point.
It's a part of Artemis.
It's on the inside of the trunk.
Yes. Yeah. It's on the underside of the hood to the right of the sigil.
Yeah, next time you see the car, you can go and like point it out.
Yeah, it's right there.
That's that thing that's fused to the car now.
Yeah, they told us about it.
Yeah.
Very cool. And do you have some socials you want to share?
Sure. Honestly, the number one social account that I have for the car is the TikTok account, which is 67 Artemis. So the number 67 Artemis, Artemis. Yes, I guess I'm right now. There is an Instagram that's Artemis the Impala, and a Facebook, which is where I try to do more of like the actual event posting and where we're going to be and updates on the car, and that's also Artemis the Impala. So very easy to find, and any of those should also have a link to our website, where we also keep an updated list of our events that I really, really need to update for this year. And all of our best photos go on there as well. Yeah.
Some collaboration by a pretty good photographer.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, whenever you said, fan interactions, you do all right, with, poking around and, taking some actually really awesome, selfies with us all the time.
Every single one.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think I missed out on most of them until the last one because I'm always running around. And he was like,
You're
I
the
need
one
a picture.
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try not to interrupt you. Oh, by the way, thank
interrupt.
you. TJ knows that my dad had a photography. He had his own darkroom. So all the way back from the 70s, photography has been part of my life too. And I like the interaction with people, taking a selfie. There are actors we know, and like it was an improv class. I was, oh, nice, let's take a picture. Now, that wasn't calculated to do anything, but she's like, oh, Brian decided we were friends. And it has become this, there's a couple people like waited. And when we finally met in person, they were like, oh, thank God I made it to the selfie store. You know what I mean? So I've been told that a few times. And I'm going to toot my own horn. I guess it's composition, but I can look at something and I go, not that it's great art, but because I love it so much, it'll make a better picture. You know what I mean? Happens with the selfie. Oh, we got to get our faces, or let's do this. Be funny. Whatever it is. I'm almost shy to toot my own horn, but toot. I love taking the pictures, and I think it shows.
I mean, honestly, that's it's really fun whenever I see it show up on Instagram, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was fun. It's like a nice little snapshot of just that nice little, almost like the calm in the storm of all these conventions, that's why I always look at them kind of fondly. I'm like, oh, look at that. Yeah.
Hopefully it shows that I like to do the same, since it's all I do all day.
We really gotta get when I can get you away from the customers, it's a great picture.
Great.
But I'm not going to interrupt your money making or their interaction.
Right.
Yeah. No worries.
It has been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be fun. I didn't know it was going to be this much fun.
No, always.
And now you've got more in store for another, by the sounds of it. We've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
We'll say goodbye, and then we'll say, let's just do a regular goodbye, and then we'll record some things just in case.
Sure.
So it's been great having you on, and we can't wait for you to come back.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
we're
really
looking
enjoyed
forward to it.
It's been great being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, y'all were some of the first people we met at whenever we started doing the con scene. And, I have to say, whenever I saw your little thing, your booth saying, the NOLA Film Scene and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, one day. And it's kind of exciting to be a part of that now,
Yeah. It's been awesome.
And that was all TJ. I love talking to y'all, but I didn't think NOLA Film Scene and that. And then we were like, it's New Orleans, and it's
we go to conventions, and now we sponsored one, and that's our scene. And they're a big part of the scene.
Look how far everybody's come.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. It's just a different form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%.
And finding your tribe, like we talked about in another recent one. And you found your con tribe. We found our acting tribe. It keeps going.
I'd love to mix into your acting tribe there, personally.
I know. We will talk about your acting too. And I haven't forgotten you. If I'm making something, I'll reach out.
Oh, please. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, folks.
Y'all too.
See you next time, folks.